So, who is your least favorite character in Battle for Dream Island? Some of you might say Rocky, or TV, or Pillow, or Profiley. Why do you dislike them? Is it because they don't do anything interesting? Or they are annoying? Or probably not even needed in the show's context? Even people who like everyone in the show have their least favorites. Even they consider their least favorite to be good. Most of us have a character we don't like. And people have reasons as to why we don't like these characters. People can constantly agree or disagree with what others have to say. Everyone has a favorite or a least favorite, and we all can agree on that. So, you may be asking, who is my least favorite BFDI character? You saw the damn title, it's Lie. But you may be asking, why her? Why do I really dislike this character? Well, I will be answering that, and spoilers, no, it is not because she's me. But the answer, well, you'll have to watch the video and see. How this video will work is that I will talk about Lie's presence in episodes where I think it is worth talking about her character. Since this is one of 4 characters who first debuted in BFB, I will start with BFB 1 and go all the way to Teapot 19. Without further ado, let's dive into why Lie is my least favorite character in all of BFDI. In BFB 1, Lie took notice of Pai's inability to kill as she comes off as an incredibly chill character. As inspired, Lie wanted to join Pai because she felt extremely disturbed to kill others and wants to join the team so she can resist the temptation to kill other teams. Remember, this will be incredibly important moving forward. Got that? Good. So you may be wondering, why I didn't talk about the whole teardrop thing that happened in BFB 1? Well, it's not going to be that important moving forward, but it will be kind of important moving forward to a certain episode. Also, her curiosity nature has not been explored that much to be warned in this video, so which is why I'm not going to bring it up. Although it does have some importance, but we'll get to that later on. That's about it for Lie in BFB 1. Overall, an alright way to introduce someone, but there's more to her character as moving forward. Okay, I decided to combine BFB 2 through 4 because I don't think trying to cover by each episode, I don't think there's that much worth discussing. Got that? Thank you. Moving on, in BFB 2, she gets a moment with Foley, and it turns out Lie and Foley are arch enemies. For some reason. They never really elaborate on her past with Foley, and a lot of us speculated came for the BFDI opposite video. I will say this is the best thing Lie had going for her, and it's not even close. You really cannot go wrong with some classic gravity, and 2 new characters who were introduced in this season could have been cool. In BFB 3, Deathpact has prevented a grand total of
0.00 death.
Notice how Deathpact has not prevented any deaths in the first 2 episodes, but managed to prevent the first 3 in BFB 3? This will, once again, be incredibly important, so keep note of that. In BFB 4, Lie wanted to climb Bellstring as she is curious to see what is at the top. This does highlight her curious personality back from BFB 1, where she wants to solve secrets which the viewers don't know. I would say this is a pretty cool concept. During the challenge, she got surrounded by the forks from Lollipop's fork repellent. And she got put up for elimination. Okay, she's a newbie. Surely she survives this, right? You may have noticed I have not been talking about Lie negatively for the most part in BFB. That's because she's not that bad, and I actually don't hate her here. BFB 5 comes to her rescue as it becomes Lie's first genuinely bad episode. Okay, here we go, BFB 5. So what happened? So remember when she was using Ice Cube to wiggle Teardrop's vocal cords? She was hurting Teardrop, and this is vote to eliminate, and the 9-year-olds would vote out people who do something wrong, and thus Lie gets eliminated for it, and the votes were not that close, neither were the first 3 ones. Well, you may be wondering, how did Lie handle her elimination? Well, I will say this, it's definitely more than the first 3 eliminations, but I'll let this clip explain for itself.
Well, I've heard your message, and I've heard it loud and clear. You guys obviously don't want me here. Remote, how many lives has this team saved?
2,763.
And how many am I responsible for?
2,753.
Exactly. When I joined this team, I thought I could put my traumatic killing past behind me. So many of my hours and so much of my willpower was spent on saving instead of murdering. I thought you guys would support me, but I guess you won't. And if you won't, then what's the point in restraining myself?
Okay, what do I think about her speech? Well, it's not good. At all. Okay, why do I think her speech sucked? Is it because she's petty? Well, that's some of the reasoning, but ultimately, I dislike her speech because it doesn't make any sense to me. Let's start with the positive. The positive about her rant is that her voice acting was done really well, which I applaud for. Here is a few reasons why I do not like Lai's speech, and why it doesn't make any sense to me. Reason 1. I don't think blaming Deathpact is the correct thing to do in my opinion. Okay, in her rant, she says how upset she is about Deathpact not supporting her, when 1, Deathpact is not the reason to blame Lai is eliminated. The voters who voted for Lai to leave is the one Lai should be frustrated with. The voters would be the one who didn't support Lai, not Deathpact, so watching her throw the bus under Deathpact is a little annoying to me when they never really did anything wrong to Lai. Reason 2. Okay, why would she go back to her killing paths if it's what she wants to move on from? That is most of the reason why I didn't get behind her whole speech. When Lai said, I thought you guys would support me, but I guess you won't, and if you won't, then what's the point in restraining myself? Like, isn't that the reason why she joined Deathpact? To restrain herself from killing? The damn thing she gets disturbed for doing? So why the hell would Lai go back to do something that she regrets? Because she didn't get supported? Girl, do you join Deathpact to be supported? Or to move on from your past you find disturbing? Make up your mind! So, yeah. Overall, her send-off is super questionable to me because what I feel they are trying to do with Lai is to make the viewers feel sorry for Lai. But I cannot feel sorry for her if it turned out to be a really inconsistent character to me, and kinda whiny to be honest. Gee, I sure hope people don't hype this character into oblivion and people start rambling about how much potential this character has. I sure hope this does not happen. What I meant to say was, this joke is pretty funny. This episode was so boring, man. Can we move on now? Despite having more episodes combined in this segment than everything up to it so far, I have shockingly not that much to say here. In BFB 10, she was offered another chance back into the show and admitted her mistake. But she doesn't join, it doesn't... Anyways, in BFB 11, she didn't rejoin, but she found her next adventure. Yeah, the last time this side of her character will ever be relevant. In BFB 16, she had the right idea to leave Forest's classroom, which loser did, but everyone else did not. That's all you need to know. In the next 4 episodes, Lai and the exit crew uses the next moments to escape the exit while they can. Teapot 1, Teapot 7, Teapot 9, and Teapot 11. Let's start with Teapot 1. In Teapot 1, she opened the door, which 4 forbidden her from, which was shown to us in Teapot 7. Yeah, I never understood why we had to wait almost 3 years for this scene. But during Teapot 7, Lai was portrayed as the leader of the exit. This role would soon be taken over by Pencil in Teapot 9. But during her stay in the exit, she settled her differences with Stevie, which they got on better terms. Hey, that's kinda nice. They even worked together to escape war in Teapot 1 and Teapot 11. Hey, that's cool and all, but when will the Bracelety and Ice Cube divorce arc happen? But eventually, the Exiters in Teapot 11 finally escaped war, although it's mostly thanks to Robotty and Bracelety. Okay, I know Lai didn't really do anything in Teapot 12, but this episode, the Exiters were gifted a chance to join Teapot, and I will talk about each one of them and how much they deserve to join Teapot. And spoilers, I think Lai deserved to join Teapot the least. How shocking of me to say. There is one extremely important thing I need to point out. During her exit and in Teapot 12, Lai has managed to receive some of the most hype in the show's history. in terms of character at the very least. So many people wanted her to join T-pop because they thought Lai had the potential to be one of the best characters out of anyone in the show. All because she told a sob story. Wait, a character who told a sob story and gets popular for it? Meh, it's probably nothing. Like, say what you want for the other exiters, but at least every other exiter had a realistic reason that they should be in T-pop. Nope, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna go over every exiter and why each one of them I think deserves to join T-pop. Pencil. Book and Ice Cube were still in T-pop and could still focus on the Alliance shenanigans. Bracelet has a gimmick that worships Ice Cube and Ice Cube is still in T-pop, which you can work with something with her. 8-Ball. Already had an arc with Golf Ball, and even if the arc ended, that doesn't mean 8-Ball and Golf Ball cannot interact with each other. Steffi had Marker to interact with and they are good friends. It's funny when the writer said they had nothing for Steffi, but still somehow has more to do than Lai in my opinion. Match. Like with Pencil, she could focus on the Alliance, and she still had more going than Lai. And as for the other four, Fiery Jr., Dora, Robani, and David, they all would have been decent comic relief characters. But what did Lai have? The most she had was with Foley, and now that she's eliminated in T-pop 3, that was pretty much it for her. If Foley was still in, sure, I think Lai wouldn't have been the worst. In that case, that would have been David. But what about Deathpack? She has conflict with them, right? So the arc on surface doesn't sound that bad, right? Remember what I said about in BFDI 5 where it's the Boulder's fault and how Deathpack never really wronged Lai? That's why I don't think the Deathpack arc wouldn't really work in my opinion. Okay, but who won the results? 8-Ball got 10, Match got 9, Robani got 8, David got 7, Stevie got 6, Fiery Jr. got 5, Dora got 4, 1 makes 2 people join, Bracelet got 3rd. Wait, so if Bracelet got 3rd, then that means...
Death Pact? They don't deserve me. I will join this one with the notes.
Why? Hello.
Hey, Pen. Long time no see.
Not even 10 seconds in and I already have issues with Lai. Man, this character is going to be so fun to sit through. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Okay, where did I left off? Oh, yeah. The first 10 seconds she was in T-pop and she's already an inconsistent character. What a great start, am I right? Okay, why do I think she's inconsistent? Okay, first off, she said that Deathpact doesn't deserve her, and 10 seconds later, she befriends Pen, a Deathpact member? And before you're smart, yes, that's the only reason why Lai would ever befriend Pen. In that episode, she, Bottle, and Pen made a trail to work together to stop the giant David. I thought it was fine. But during that episode, she gets a moment with Black Hole.
Nice to see you again, Light.
Surely, Lai would take notice that Black Hole's happy for her, right? In T-pop 14, there is not that much to say about Lai. While Eraser did get eliminated, Pen was sad to see Eraser go, and it was made even worse because Pen made a friendship with Nito last episode and just got out. Okay, how many damn friends is Pen going to get in this goddamn sh**? Anyways, Lai felt bad for Pen. Aww, how nice. Is what I would be saying if, like everyone else, Lai was competing to get one of the 2 flags to earn her team her immunity. During the challenge, she stated how if they didn't want Cloudy to win, she suggested them to team up. Kind of a homage to what everyone thought Lai was going to be. Why did we really need the poster child of the exit to be in Teapot again? Whatever, this was all just the appetizer of Lai being in Teapot. Now, on to the main course. In Teapot 15, during the Cake and Steak ceremony, when the timeline is being messed around with, Black Hole was all confused, and when Lai was announced safe, Black Hole was baffled by the constant host changing, but Lai translated as, Black Hole's not happy with me. I don't know if the timeline changed anything in that sense, so I am not sure how to respond, but this would, in my opinion, start my absolute least favorite arc in all of BFDI, because the arc already sounded dumb, and now it's actually going to happen in future episodes. Hooray! The challenge in T-pop 15 was to find a reject who traveled through the timeline and have to retrieve them to stop the timeline from collapsing. Just a quick recap. During the challenge, she killed one person.
Hey, wait a minute.
You'd think I would be complaining about this scene, considering how she found it disturbing to kill, but I am not. Because I'm not trying to say, God forbid lie to kill, even if I think her character is kinda off, but I could forgive this because it's a one-off moment, and it's not really a highlight. And, you wanna know the truth? Lie is not that bad now, because sure, the black hole arc is an awful idea, but they're not focusing on that yet. If Lie kept like this in future Teapot episodes, I wouldn't even be making this video at all. During the challenge, Pen was confronted with himself in BFDI A1, who wanted to kill Leafy for stealing Dream Island. Bottle teased Pen by saying that it was not pact-like, but Lie said it was fine because everyone has regrets. Yeah, she totally has regrets. Anyways, let's move on to Teapot 16. If you were expecting me to trash talk Lie this whole video, you would be wrong, because she was genuinely good in Teapot 16. Or it's just the fact that Teapot 16 is a literal masterpiece of an episode. Moving on. I will get through the negative aspects of Lie in Teapot 16 before we move on, so we can talk about the good stuff. The black hole situation. Again, I mean, it's not as bad as the other episodes, but I still think it's kind of annoying. Although I will say, it is the most reasonable time Lie has been upset in Black Hole, to be honest. But you may be asking to yourself, Sir Steve, why do you like Lie in Teapot 16? Well, to answer that, I say this.
I wish I could have chased Pencil. I respect Penny so much for being able to do it. I'm just angry, Lai. Blocky left, and I get that. But losing a racer as well, and knowing it was because he got caught up in the whole Pencil's Alliance shenanigans.
Why didn't you go after her then?
I don't know how to let it out. I don't know if I can let it out. It's just something I've never done before.
You know, I've had trouble keeping my anger in. I let it out and I hurt people, and I forced myself to keep it in on Death Pact. Even in the exit, I kept it in. It helped me by treating my aggressive side as a different part of me. It's still me, but it doesn't control me. I control it. And I can control when it's good for me to let that part out, like against kitchen sink. Being angry is okay, Pen. You have to let it out or it'll just fester inside of you, and you'll hurt people when you don't mean to.
Maybe I just can't do that. Maybe I'm just not meant to unleash my anger like you do.
It's never too late to express yourself, Pen. It's never too late for anyone.
Hi, guys. Match?
Okay, this scene was almost fantastic, but there's one small issue I have. Why is she blaming it on Death Pact, man? That's my only issue. Other than that, this is an amazing scene and easily the best thing Lai has done in Teapot, and it's not even close. She told Pen a great moral on how it's okay to let out his anger, and it's not good for him to hold his anger in. It did result in a bit of a cringy crash out, but moving on, this kind of thing Lai said is something that I can get behind, and probably the viewers as well can get behind on. Her coaching Pen would have been a good thing for Lai, as it shows part of her character that has never been shown before. The idea of Lai having anger issues is an excellent idea, because it actually adds up to her character. Because back in BFB1, she wanted to join Death Pact because she found it disturbing to kill others, and wanted to resist the urge to kill. This implies that Lai hasn't been the best at holding her anger back. Now, I want to make it clear that my problem with Lai is not rather that she is a jerk like I said, but moreover, the issues with the black hole arc and the logic behind it. If Lai was to become a villain randomly, it would be weird, but I ultimately would be fine, as it's something that wouldn't be in character, but I wouldn't hate it. Like, the thing with mean or villain characters is that I don't hate the character just for the sake of being evil, but sometimes the question you should be asking is, does the show know the full context? With humorous mean characters, there's not much to judge because they're being mean just because they think it's funny. Which is like characters like Snowball, Eraser, Golf Ball, and BFB Fanny. She is not that good in Teapot. I don't know what the hell you guys are on. Our characters I really like despite being mean. And even on occasions like BFDI Pen, who happens to be my favorite character in BFDIA, tied with Ruby, because of how enjoyable she is as a villain. Her being a villain makes sense because she lost her face, limbs, and size. 2 of them were caused by Freesmart, and while the face she lost is deserved, but the size wasn't, so naturally, she wanted vengeance on Freesmart. Ruby got out in BFDI 15 and thus had the target book, but BFDI 18 is what Pin's selling point is. She was super good in this episode, as I think. The episode wants you to root against her, which they did a fantastic job at doing. Everyone hated Pin, and rightfully so. She also remained really enjoyable throughout the season, and even got merch on it. Just goes to show how goated BFDIA Pin was, or Mech Pin, or how they like to call it. Okay, this video is about Lie. Why did I write a passage about Pin? You know what, let's go back to Lie. So, what was I talking about again? Yeah, T-Pot 16 is a good episode for Lie. Now, how do I transition this? Oh! I know!
Think fast, Chuckle Nuts!
Teapot 17 is the episode which confirms that Lie is going to have beef with Black Hole, and I already told you how I feel about this arc and why I think it's not good. Although there was not much interaction with as it is in the episode, but for the small time it existed, it was really annoying to sit through. So what happened? Lie was doing an eating contest, and let me just play this clip for you.
You totally got this!
Just a little more, Lai. You got this.
Thank you, Black Hole. Ouch, ow, what is happening? Black Hole, you're trying to sabotage me? Again?
What? No. Wait, let me help.
We'll save you, Lai.
So this highlights a flaw Lie had, and if he addressed it, it would have not been that bad. But the first thing she does is to accuse Black Hole for sabotaging her. Black Hole's already on good terms with Lie, and Black Hole's side of course, but Black Hole already told Lie in T-Ball 13 that he was happy to see Lie again. So is this Lie just being ignorant for this arc to happen, or they just want more Death Vector because the first one was beloved, or... yeah, I don't want to explain this, I just find the scene really frustrating to sit through. Oh, what about the coaching scene? Well, it's fine, but still way worse than what they did in T-Pot 16, if you talk on Lie's behalf. I kinda wish she said something when Pen's finished talking to Pencil. And the scary part? This isn't even the worst part about Lie, at all, and I already talked about this character for 22 minutes. Let's just get this over with. Here we go. The biggest part of the video, and it's not even close. Over the past few episodes, Lie, while flawed, was not that terrible. You may think I just hate Lie because, oh, she killed Marker and Mania and the Redux. Oh no, it's much more than that. Because T-Pot 19 flips this character upside down. In a better world where TV could have survived over Lie, and I would have been way happier. In T-Pot 19, the challenge is to kill everyone, and the last 2 teams standing win, and the other 2 teams would lose. By the way, this episode is really overrated in my opinion, and a mid-episode. And Lie is the biggest reason. Because everything I said about this character until now is... I don't know how to say it honestly. In the nicest way I can, saying that Lie was awful in T-Pot 19 is an understatement. Because this character is done so terribly wrong in T-Pot 19 in my opinion. So why do I hate her in T-Pot 19 so much? Well, let's start with what she has to say to Black Hole.
He's our first target. I'm just sick of him being aggressive with us.
Really? Black Hole? I thought he was pretty nice on Death Pact.
He destroyed our hiding spot, he ripped me apart last challenge, and even after all I did preventing death, he still didn't support me when I was eliminated.
Well, nobody did, but none of us had it out for you. We just didn't get it. I'm sure if you talked to Black Hole,
You're really going to take his side? Clearly they still have it out for me, or they wouldn't be sabotaging me. That whole team had it out for me, Pen.
Did you think I had it out for you?
Guys, be nice.
Whatever, I can take care of this.
Oh,
Okay, she wants to target Black Hole because he didn't support Lai when she was eliminated. Okay, that's not really true. Lai just acts if Black Hole hates Lai for no reason, and Lai was sent to the exit, so she had to find somebody to blame. Silly Lai, blame the voters, or even better, blame Ford, you know, the one who trapped you in the exit for 6 years. Second off, Black Hole actually still cares for Lai, so Lai pretty much just ignored what Black Hole said, and just thought he was a massive jerk when Lai could have listened to Black Hole and this could have been easily avoided. This just cemented my point back in Teapot 17 about how Lai was being ignorant. Okay, so even if Lai is still upset about what happened in BFB 5 or whatever, this raises my next question. Why the hell was she targeting Fanny and Marker? Okay, so if she's angry about what happened in BFB 5, then you should target Tree, who was in BFB 5, not Fanny and Marker. They weren't even there for BFB 5. Also kind of funny how Tree was the one who told Ford to send you away, so why didn't you target him? Lai proceeds to kill Fanny and is about to kill Marker, but then Marker defends himself by giving up his token that Tree trusted him with.
You trust me?
Yes, I do. No!
Okay, Lai was just really out of character here. So remember what happened in BFB 1 where she found killing extremely disturbing? Like, if she was to feel regret after, I would be way kinder to this character, but no, she didn't regret killing either characters at all. But what about Teapot 50? Like, that was a one-off scenario, and she was using it for good things. She was doing this in Teapot 19 just for spite, because she was trapped in the exit, and of course this character had to throw somebody under the bus to make it look interesting, while totally not making this character look really stupid. This is just a really bad scene in my opinion, because Lai is more inconsistent than ever. I think the show is trying to justify Lai's anger towards Deathpact, but they are targeting the two characters who weren't even on Deathpact. So it's hard for me to say that Lai was in the right while watching Teapot 19. So my reason on why I hate Lai is because while she may look like a flexible character on paper, but in reality she is probably one of, if not the most inconsistent character of all time in BFDI. And this mentioning BFB 5 made it hard to defend the character, meaning that the context is there, but more rather how misdirected her character went. Because now, Lai contradicts her own character for no real reason just to make the episode look good. So, the show is trying to make Lai look like she's a super interesting character, and if you have to ask me, I think they did a pretty bad job, because sometimes I feel like this character has an identity crisis. On one hand, she is friends with Pen and Bottle for being on Deathpact, but on the other, hates Marker and Fanny for being on Deathpact, or states that she finds it disturbing to kill others, but would have no issues killing people 10 seconds later. It's problems like these, and the show failing to acknowledge when they easily could is why I really do not like this character. But we're not even finished with this character, because she has a talk with Black Hole.
Black Hole, you clearly know what I'm talking about. No one on the team appreciated my work. I wish one of you stood up with me before I got stuck away for years. It was all I had to think about, while you just got to have fun playing.
Lai, you think it's been easy for me? After you left, it was hard to keep things under control. Fanny caused a lot of trouble on the team, but that was the only way for me to realize that there has to be compromise on the team. Lai, I appreciated your time on Deathpact. I don't mean to sabotage you. With help from Fanny, I've been holding myself back less, and it's not that bad. Maybe you should start doing that too.
Okay, after watching Lai have her talk with Black Hole, I can safely say that her talk was kinda pointless. The one thing I will say is that Lai being jealous about Black Hole is reasonable in a vacuum, but the show never really shows Lai being jealous about Black Hole and is still upset about what happened in BFB 5, since she got trapped in the exit and was jealous about what happened since Black Hole got to play the game. Like, I said this multiple times, but she should be mad at Ford. He was the one who tortured Lai in the exit, not Black Hole. Like, I get that Lai is jealous, but that does not mean her anger towards Deathpact is justified. And when Black Hole told Lai that she should not hold back...
Hey, wait a minute, what the hell?
If Lai was to take advice from Black Hole, this pretty much renders her best aspect in Teapot no questions asked. Like, Lai already told Pen to let his anger out, and before you say, It's not the same thing. Yeah, but there isn't much difference to letting out your anger and shouldn't be holding back. If you ask me, they are pretty similar and the scenes are pretty similar to me. Speaking of not holding back, Lai was kind of doing that already. Like, if Black Hole didn't know what Lai did to Marker and Fanny, that's understandable. But why would Lai take Black Hole's advice if she already killed 2 people before? Also funny how she didn't even use her killing mode. At least in Teapot 15, she used her killing mode. But I need to address the elephant of the room. This damn scene. I hate this scene so much. I would say it's one of my least favorite scenes in the entire show. So the rejects were planning to kill Pencil, right? Well, Lai decided to stop in their track by killing all the rejects outside of non-existent tape and had no regrets. I swear, when I first watched Teapot 19, I just wanted Teapot to come out of that bakery and just kill Lai, because Lai was abhorrent in this scene. Like, this scene feels so cheap. All this did was to get Lai more fans in the laziest way possible. Tell me this. So if the show wants to make a big scene, they would do something with their characters, no questions asked. But they didn't do anything with Lai at all. Remember Teapot 13 when everyone fought Robot Flower? That was a great scene, and infinitely better than what Lai did. Every character that people like on an actual moment. Robot Flower was portrayed as the bad person because she got all of Flower's season 1 personality. And it was a great way to move the plot forward because it helped with her character and basketballs. Remember Teapot 9 where Pillow killed everyone? That was in character for Pillow because it helped Pillow realizing that killing was not always good luck. We were not supposed to root for Pillow because it was meant to be wrong. Sure, I don't care for Pillow that much, but it's still better than what Lai did. But what about Lai? She just killed the rejects and got loved for it. Yeah, she killed the cardboard cutouts of Teapot, and I will say this, I hate how the rejects got treated. So she kills characters who don't have much impact on the show, but gets loved for it, because it's hype and cool. She is just extremely out of character in comparison to Pill, and kills the characters who don't do much unlike Robot Flower. Hell, the rejects didn't even fight back. Maybe if you're not Kitchen Sink and PDA. Why else do you think I would put the fraud on the title? Yeah, Teapot 19 Lai was pretty terrible and pretty much damaged how I viewed this character for me. Now on to conclude. Oh wait, you're telling me I have to do Teapot 21? Great. So in the Teapot 21 teaser, Lai was on the poster. During Teapot 19 and 20, Lai was not shown to be alive. Neither was the Force, but he wasn't shown to be killed at least. Whereas everyone else was proven to be alive. Okay, so who recovered her? I sure as hell wouldn't know it would be Winner or Fiery Jr. Loser didn't know Lai was dead, so I started to wonder, who would recover Lai? It turned out to be Grassy, who constructed Lai like a Lego. Okay, at least it was not the token. I would have been pissed as hell if it was. So during the Cake at Stake, she got bottom 2. When I first saw Teapot 21, I laughed when I first watched it. Because they tried so hard to make this character look interesting in Teapot 19 and still gets bottom 2 for it. Wow, what an epic fail. In Teapot 21, I think she was decent in the first half but then started getting really annoying and whiny. But this one's more out of personal preference and not something more narrative-wise like Teapot 19. But I will say, Lai is better here in Teapot 21 than she was in Teapot 19. But being better than Teapot 19 Lai is a pretty low bar to clear, to be honest. She forgives Marker, which is kinda nice, but I couldn't care less at this point. I'm just worn out right now. I think Lai was pretty mediocre in Teapot 21. I'm kinda disappointed that I have to end this with Teapot 21 as opposed to Teapot 19, because Teapot 21 isn't much of a reason that I actually hate Lai, and it's just how much damage Teapot 19 did to Lai, as I think ending it off with Teapot 19 would have been way better. But I don't want idiots going to me saying that, oh, what do you think of Lai in Teapot 21? So I just decided to make this section here. Now, for real this time, let's move on to the conclusion.
Girls, you're both pretty. Can I go home now?
That's all what I had to say for this character. So what do I think about Lai? She went in from an alright character to a really bad character. Which sucks, because her design is pretty cool and the voice actor does a great job voicing Lai. Such a shame the talents were used on a character who I find to be extremely inconsistent and just poorly written. Every time when I try to take this character seriously, I get annoyed. Really annoyed, because every time without fail, I always question this character. Say what you want for Pencil, but at least they're doing a great job handling her arc. She is a horrible person in T-Bot and the show acknowledges it, but yet she has a reason to be pissed at 4, just not at the others, but the show realizes that Pencil's anger is both justified and not. This is what makes Pencil so fun to watch in T-Bot in my opinion. Can't say the same for Lai, where they try to make Black Hole look like the bad guy where he never did anything wrong to Lai, and they're trying to act like Lai's anger is justified at Black Hole, which is mostly not. The other sad thing is that there are so many easy ways to fix Lai, but the show refuses to and just gives more fuel to the Black Hole and Lai arc. Well, I wouldn't say that Lai has zero redeeming qualities, but the good qualities Lai has are greatly outweighed by her bad ones. Lai is the one character in BFDI I actually hate. I don't hate any other characters in the show. The only other character I dislike is Eggy, but that's it. Everyone's neutral at worst. Now again, you are perfectly fine to agree or disagree with me. I could not care less. You are allowed to like Lai. No one can stop you from doing so, not even myself. This video is more of an opinion than a fact. I just have so many gripes with Lai that I don't have with any other characters. If I came off as harsh, I don't blame you. Even myself thought I was harsh. But I am not planning on making any OSC videos anytime soon. So consider this my only OSC video for now. I kinda wish this video was not that long because I never really have much ideas for a video on YouTube, and the first real video I have is a 37-minute rant. How fun. Overall, that's all I had for this video. If you made it this far, you are a real one. If you didn't skim through these, thanks for watching. I know this video might have been hard to watch if you are a Lai fan, and I apologize. Anyways, see you another time. Or not. I don't know if I'm planning to make another video anytime soon. I need a nap, man.